Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are going to continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 5. Today we have to read from 26, no? So, and then does anyone remember what we read last?
We had read about the real spiritual master, his duty, like he teaches the disciple to get out of this material life. And not just for namesake, like how if a spiritual master just gives you the mantra and takes the dakshina, but the real actually spiritual master teaches the disciple to get out of this material life. And the Harvashyas accepted Narad Muni as their spiritual master. And
Yeah.
a devotee doesn't endeavor to go to the higher planets, a real devotee of this material, or like, to reach to the heavenly planets. The devotee only endeavors to go back home, back to Godhead.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And then what happened after the Haryashvas? They didn't want
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
Then
they circumambulated Guru Narad Muni, and like all disciples should be doing, they assimilate the instructions from them and they follow their path. And then Narad Muni, after helping them, after delivering, he went back. He went around the world chanting with his veena, and we also got to know about the musical note that is used in the musical instruments, sare, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, the 7 musical notes. They usually they originally come from the Samaveda. And that the Narad Muni's veena, that the sound that vibrates from that is the Radhika Ramana. It's a transcendental vibration. And it's another name for Krishna. And he keeps chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yes, all the while he keeps chanting, and that helps him to fix his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. That is how he can master the senses.
And he's delivering everyone else wherever he's
going. Yes, wherever he goes, he keeps chanting loudly, and these sounds are very transcendental. So yes, and yeah, this helps him to fix his mind, and that's why we keep reading from Bhagavatam. Also, we have to keep chanting loudly, because that really helps us to fix our mind, helps us to control our senses, and it really gives you to go beyond the material desires, and you can let go of so many things now, like how we understand Hareshwas. They let go of the material desire. Probably they don't know, like Narad Muni said, you don't know what is the desire of your father. So even being a cultured son, they let go of his desire and they wanted to follow the path of Narad Muni. So that helped them to realize this, that no, this is the material desire, and the true path, the absolute truth is to go back home to Godhead. And they started to follow the path of Narad Muni, to chant, to be in devotional service.
Yes. Thank you.
And this really caused Daksh to lament about losing his sons. But Lord Brahma pacified him that it's okay, and then he had another 1,000 sons. from his wife Panchajani, and they also he also instructed them to populate and to beget more children. And once again, these 1,000 sons, they went to the holy place Narayan Saras, and they took their they took their bath there, and that holy water helped them to get out of their material desires. Their hearts also got cleansed. And once again, they also chanted the Omkara mantra. Now, here we also learned about there is no difference between the Vedic mantras and the Hare Krishna mantra, because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Pranava Sarva Vedeshu, that I am represented by Pranava or Omkara. So there is no difference between chanting of a Vedic mantra beginning with Omkara, as it is directly coming from Krishna, his own name.
That's right. So then why do we chant Hare Krishna mantra?
We chant Hare Krishna mantra to go back home to Godhead.
Yes. So
To
there is
get
no
rid of the material
difference.
desire. Yes.
Yes, there's no difference, but in this age, we are recommended to chant Hare Krishna mantra. We are recommended. This is also Vedic mantra, the Hare Krishna mantra, although there is no difference between Omkar and Hare Krishna. The Hare Krishna mantra is specifically given to us for this age of Kali, for us to get liberation. So Lord Chaitanya gave us this mantra. It's also coming in the Vedas, and the Vedas are telling us that in this age of Kali, we have to chant.
Yes. Hare
The
Krishna.
holy. Thank you. Thank you so much. So we're going to continue reading from text 26. Tad upasparshanad eva.
Tat upashanad eva.
Vinirduta malashaya.
Vinirduta malasaya.
Japanto Brahma Paramam.
Japanto Brahma Paramam.
Te pustatra mahattapam.
Te pustatra mahattapa.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. At Narayan Saras, the second group of sons performed penances in the same way as the first. They bathed in the holy water, and by its touch, all the dirty material desires in their hearts were cleansed away. They murmured mantras beginning with Omkar and underwent a severe course of austerities. We did this. This is what we just spoke about.
Yes.
Okay, so going on to the next one. Abhaksha katichin masang.
Abhaksha katichin masam.
Katichid vayu bhojana.
Katichid vayu bhojanam.
Aradhyan mantramimam.
Aradhayan mantram imam.
Abhyasyantai daspatim.
Abhyasyanta idaspatim.
Om namo Naranaya.
Om namo Narayanaya.
Purushaya Mahatmane.
Purusaya Mahatmane.
Vishuddha Sattva Vishnyaya.
Visuddha Sattva Disnyaya.
Mahahamsaya Dhimahi.
Mahahamsaya Dhimahi.
For a few months, the sons of Prajāpati Dakṣa drank only water and ate only air. Thus, undergoing great austerities, they recited this mantra. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto Narayan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is always situated, in his transcendental abode. Since he is the Supreme Person, Paramhams, let us offer our respectful obeisances unto him. From these verses, it is apparent that the chanting of the Mahamantra or the Vedic mantras must be accompanied by severe austerities. In Kali Yuga, people cannot undergo severe austerities like those mentioned herein, drinking only water and eating only air for many months. One cannot imitate such a process. But at least one must undergo some austerity by giving up 4 unwanted principles, namely illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling. Anyone can easily practice this tapasya, and the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra will be effective without delay. One should not give up the process of austerity. So Krishna also says, no, in Bhagavad Gita that charity, austerity, penance should never be given up. So here Prabhupada is pointing out that the sons of Daksh, they are chanting the mantra, but they are doing some austerity. Now it's not possible for us to go months without eating anything or not breathing or just breathing or drink only water. So for us, austerity, no gambling, no meat eating, no illicit sex, and no intoxication, and chanting Hare Krishna mantra. So following the 4 regulative principles. If possible, one should bathe in the waters of the Ganges or Yamuna, or in the absence of the Ganges and Yamuna, one may bathe in the water of the sea. This is an item of austerity. Our Krishna consciousness movement has therefore established 2 very large centers, one in Vrindavan and another in Mayapur, Navadvip. There one may bathe in the Ganges or Yamuna, chant the Hare Krishna mantra, and thus become perfect and return home back to Godhead. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that he has established temples in Vrindavan and Mayapur, Navadvip. Navadvip is where the Ganges is. Vrindavan is where Yamuna is. So one may stay there, bathe in these holy rivers, chant Hare Krishna, and go back home, back to Godhead. Now for someone it may be possible, for some others it may not be possible to go live in the Dham. So one can mentally reside in the Dham. One can meditate that one is bathing in the Ganges or in the Yamuna. And of course chanting Hare Krishna mantra. One can, in the mind, one can envision bathing in the Ganges and Yamuna. Etitan api Rajendra
Ititan api Rajendra
Praja Sarga Diyo Munihi
Praja Sarga Diyo Munihi
Upetya Nārada Praha
Upetya Nārada Praha
Vacha Kutani Pur Bhadvat.
Vacha Kutani Purvavata.
O King Parikshit, Nārada Muni approached these sons of Prajāpati Dakṣa, who were engaged in tapasya to beget children, and spoke enigmatic words to them, just as he had spoken to their elder brothers. So now Nārada Muni is coming again. Dakshayana samshrunuta
Dakshayana Samshrunuta
Gadato nigamam mama
Gadato Nigamam Mama
Anivichatanu padavim
Anivichatanu Padavim
Bhratranam Bhratravatsala.
Bhratranam Bhratravatsala.
O sons of Daksh, please hear my words of instruction attentively. You are all very affectionate to your elder brothers, the Haryashvas. Therefore, you should follow their path. Nārada Muni encouraged Prajāpati Daksha's second group of sons by awakening their natural affinity for their brothers. He urged them to follow their older brothers if they were at all affectionate toward them. It's true, no? Like parents actually do that. Oh, see your elder brother is doing like this. See your sister is doing so good. Follow the example. I'm sure even each of us has faced it at some point or the other. When our siblings are doing well, then they say, oh, follow that example. Why are you being like this?
Yes.
So Nārada Muni is telling them, your Haryashvas, your elder brothers, they're so great. You follow the example. Family affection is very strong, and therefore Narad Muni followed this tactic of reminding them of their family relationship with the Haryashvas. Generally, the word Nigam refers to the Vedas, but here Nigama refers to the instructions contained in the Vedas. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Nigapa kalpataror kalitam phalam. The Vedic instructions are like a tree, of which Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit. So the Vedas, they're very vast, right? Vedas are vast. So all these Vedas are compared to a tree, a huge tree. And then a tree has fruits. So Bhagavatam is this ripened fruit, the sweet nectarian fruit. And because we are hearing this fruit from the lotus lips of Sukadev Goswami, it's become even sweeter. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam. So Narad Muni is engaged in distributing this fruit, and therefore he instructed Vyasadeva to write this Mahapuran, Srimad Bhagavatam, for the benefit of ignorant human society. So we can see how compassionate Narad Muni is. For us, he's told Vyasadeva, you please write it so that we can hear. Now, otherwise it will be lost. Anartho pashamam sakshat bhakti yogam adhokshaje lokasya janato vidvams chakre satvata samhita. The material miseries of the living entity, which are superfluous to him, can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vyasadeva compiled this Vedic literature, which is in relation to the Supreme Truth. Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7, Text 6. Okay, so what are a few points
Hare
that
Krishna.
struck? Hare Krishna.
So this is the true charity that is there, right? What Narad Muni is distributing, the Hare
Yes,
Krishna mantra. So
yes.
actually when we say charity, this is what?
Mm.
Giving Krishna to everyone.
Yes, that's the highest
Yes.
charity. Yes,
Yes.
thank
So
you.
this really reminds us that this is actually what is charity.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
So now this verse, what are a few points that strikes you all in this verse? Read it.
The material miseries of the living entity, which are superfluous to him, can be
Yeah,
directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service.
yeah. So see these material miseries, how we get so worried, so engrossed in our miseries, how we get so overwhelmed by our miseries. But actually they are superfluous because we are not the body, we are the soul. But we get so overwhelmed by these miseries, and they can be mitigated by devotional service. So when we engage in devotional service, these miseries don't affect us. So simply by hearing Bhagavatam, we can overcome our miseries by following Bhagavatam.
So this is anartha, right? I mean, what Dakṣa is going through.
What do you mean?
So I'm not sure if I understood it right. So he's having those superficial lamentation, right? Isn't it?
Daksh, or
People are
you mean because
suffering.
he lost? You mean
Yeah.
because Daksh lost his 10,000 sons? Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So yes.
Yes. It's true.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. He should have been happy, but he's sad. Yeah, it's anartha. It's because of ignorance. So
Yeah,
people are
that's
suffering.
yeah. Right.
Yeah, people are suffering because of ignorance and are following a wrong path for happiness. This is called anartha. Anartha. Artha means what is required. Anartha, what is not required, unnecessary. And we are collecting all these unnecessary things, thinking that they'll make us happy. But actually, they are the ones who are causing our misery. Our greed, our envy, our pride, our whatever we have collected in our hearts. Those are the anarthas. These material activities will never make them happy, and therefore Narada instructed Vyasadeva to record the instructions of Srimad Bhagavatam. Vyasadeva actually followed Narada and did this. Srimad Bhagavatam is the supreme instruction of the Vedas. Galitam phalam, the ripened fruit of the Vedas is Srimad Bhagavatam. So by studying Bhagavatam, means we have studied the entire Vedas. Vedas are so vast, it can take one lifetimes to read the Vedas, and yet one may not be able to understand. Because Vedasya sarver aham eva vedya, the goal of Vedas is to understand Krishna. So one may study Vedas, but one may get so distracted by the flowery language of the Vedas because it's not very directly given, and that's the reason Vyasadeva was not feeling happy, and Narada told him, "You directly glorify devotional service." So Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of the Vedas. By studying Bhagavatam means one has studied all the Vedas. Is that okay?
Yes, and I feel we are so blessed. We are getting the collective knowledge of so many of them because of that many experiences. I mean, how you keep saying the chain of disciplic succession. So it coming from Brahma and then Vyasadeva, Brahma, Narad Muni, Vyasadeva, Sukadev Goswami, and they all know they have come from so many yugas, so they know really what we need to get. So we are actually getting the real nectar of it. We are
Yes.
given the right and the easiest path of just chanting. Yeah. So all thanks to them and Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, all thanks to them. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shilpa. Thanks to you too. We are
Oh,
blessed.
yeah.
We are
Imagine
blessed.
if Prabhupada didn't translate this Bhagavatam for us in a language that is, understood, that we can understand. So really,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah. So as you rightly said, very grateful to Srila Prabhupada.
Yes. Yes.
Till the last moment, till his last breath, he was giving purpose to Bhagavatam. He
Yeah.
was translating the Bhagavatam right up till the last breath. I don't know if you all have seen the video, but it's like very moving, very
No.
touching.
No, I
I'll
haven't.
try to find it and send it.
Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, they said the last verse of the Bhagavatam, the end, Canto 12,
Mhm.
chapter 13, 23. I mean, this is what
Mhm.
I recite because, like I was telling you, it's Damodar Prabhu, he makes us recite few verses. So this verse is there, Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukha Shamanastam Namami Harim Param. So it says that I offer my respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Lord Hari, the congregational chanting of whose holy names destroys all sinful reactions, and the offering of obeisances unto whom relieves all material suffering.
Wow.
Jai. Jai.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So good. Thank you. Yes. So going on. Bhratranam prayanam brata.
Bhratranam prayanam brata.
Yo no tishtati dharmavid.
Yo anustati dharmavid.
Sapunya bandhu purusho.
Sapunya
Punya bandhu
Purusho
purusho.
Marudbi sahamodate.
Marudbi
Saha.
sahamodate.
A brother aware of the principles of religion follows in the footsteps of his elder brothers. Because of being highly elevated, such a pious brother gets the opportunity to associate and enjoy with demigods like the Maruts, who are all affectionate to their brothers. So, according to their belief in various material relationships, people are promoted to various planets. here it is said that one who is very faithful to his brothers should follow a path similar to theirs and get the opportunity for promotion to Marudlok. Narad Muni advised Prajāpati Dakṣa's second group of sons to follow their elder brothers and be promoted to the spiritual world. So Narad Muni is saying that, it's a religious principle to follow the footsteps of the elder brothers. You get pious activity. So your brothers have gone to the spiritual world. So follow your brothers. He's like kind of bringing out that affection in them for their brothers. So we can see, if the family members are devotees and then we can get affectionate with them, then it's for our eternal benefit. Etavat uktva prayayo.
Etavad uktva prayayo.
Narado moga darshana.
Narado amoga darshana.
Tepi chanvagamam margam.
Depi
Chanvagamam
Chanvagamam
margam.
Bhratranam eva marisha.
Pratranam eva marisa.
Sukdev Goswami continued, O best of the advanced Aryans, after saying this much to the sons of Prajāpati Dakṣa, Narad Muni, whose merciful glance never goes in vain, left as he had planned. The sons of Dakṣa followed their elder brothers, not attempting to produce children. They engaged themselves in Krishna consciousness. So Narad Muni was very merciful to them. Sadrichinam pratichinam.
Satrichinam pratichinam.
Parasyanu patham gataha.
Parasyam patham gataha.
Nadyapi te nivartante.
Nadyapi te nivartante.
Paschima yaminir iva.
Paschimaya iva.
The Savalashvas took to the correct path, which is obtainable by a mode of life meant to achieve devotional service or the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like knights that have gone to the west, they have not returned even until now. They took to the correct path, which is obtainable by a mode of life meant to achieve devotional service or the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like knights that have gone to the west, they have not returned even until now. So what I understand is they engaged in devotional service and they got the mercy of the Supreme Lord, going back home, back to Godhead. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Etasmin kala utpatan.
Etasmin kala utpatan.
Bahun pashyan Prajāpati.
Bahun pashyan Prajāpatihi.
Purva van Nārada kritam.
Purvavan Nārada kritam.
Putra nasham upashrano.
Putra nasham upashrano.
At this time, Prajāpati Dakṣa observed many inauspicious signs, and he heard from various sources that his second group of sons, the Savalashvas, had followed the path of their elder brothers in accordance with the instructions of Nārada. So now Daksha's got to know the news. Chukrodha Nāradayaso.
Chukrodha Nāradayaso.
Putra Shoka Vimurchita.
Putra Shoka Vimurchita.
Devarshim Upalabhyaha.
Devarshim
Upalabhyaha.
Roshad Vishpuritadhara.
Roshad Vishpuritadhara.
When he heard that the Savalashvas had also left this world to engage in devotional service, Daksha was angry at Nārada, and he almost fainted due to lamentation. When Daksha met Nārada, Daksh's lips began trembling in anger and he spoke as follows. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments that Narad Muni had delivered the entire family of Swayambhuva Manu, beginning with Priyavrat and Uttanapad. He had delivered Uttanapad's son Dhruva and had even delivered Prachina Barhi, who was engaged in fruitive activities. Nevertheless, he could not deliver Prajāpati Dakṣa. Prajāpati Dakṣa saw Narad before him because Narad had personally come to deliver him. Narad Muni took the opportunity to approach Prajāpati Dakṣa in his bereavement, because the time of bereavement is a suitable time for appreciating Bhakti Yoga. So now Dakṣa is very upset and he's lamenting. So Narad Muni has come to him to give him good advice, because usually when we are lamenting, that time we are able to we are more open to spiritual knowledge. And Prabhupada is mentioning that how this dynasty of Swayambhuva Manu got the mercy of Narad Muni. Priyavrat, Uttanapad, all Dhruva Maharaj, Prachina Bari, they all got the mercy of Narad Muni. Now the Haryashvas and then their brothers. So now he's come there. So as stated, so in bereavement is a suitable time for appreciating Bhakti Yoga. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.16, 4 kinds of men. Artha, one who is distressed. Artharthi, one in need of money. Jigyasu, one who is inquisitive. And Jnani, a person in knowledge. Try to understand devotional service. Prajāpati Dakṣa was in great distress because of the loss of his sons, and therefore Narada took the opportunity to instruct him regarding liberation from material bondage. So Narad Muni has come to give good instruction to Dakṣa. Shri Dakṣa Vachan.
Shri Dakṣa
Dakṣa
Uvacha.
Uvacha.
Aho asadho sadhuna.
Aho asado
sadhunam.
Sadhu lingena nastvayam.
Sadhu lingena nastvaya.
Nastvaya.
Asado akari arbhakanam.
Asadva
Asadva
akari
akari
advakanam.
abhakanam.
Bhikshur marga pradarshita.
Bhikshur
Bhikshur
marga
marga
pradarshita.
pradarshita.
Prajāpati Dakṣa said, Alas, Narad Muni, you wear the dress of a saintly person, but you're not actually a saint. Indeed, although I am now in Grahas life, I am a saintly person. By showing my sons the path of renunciation, you have done me an abominable injustice. So here Narad, Dakṣa is in fact being upset at Narad. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu said, Sanyasira alpa chidra sarvaloke gaya. Caitaniya Caritamita Madhya Leela 12.51. In society, one will find many sannyasis, vanaprasthas, grahasthas, and brahmacharis. But if all of them properly live in accordance with their duties, they are understood to be sadhus. Prajāpati Dakṣa was certainly a sadhu because he had executed such great austerities that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, had appeared before him. Nevertheless, he had a fault-finding mentality. So Dakṣa is saying, I'm a sadhu, I'm doing my duty properly, and you're causing me distress. And Prabhupada in the purport is mentioning, yes, it's true. Dakṣa was a sadhu, he's doing his duty properly, so much so that even Lord Vishnu came to see him and gave him the benediction. But now, what's wrong? That he has a fault-finding mentality. He improperly thought Narad Muni to be a sadhu or non-saintly because Narad had foiled his intentions. So he's finding fault with Narad Muni, thinking Narad Muni is not a sadhu, desiring to train his sons.
Is a sadhu, right? Hare Krishna. So
Hare
Narad
Krishna.
Muni is considered a sadhu, right? He is a
Narad
sadhu,
Muni
na?
is a great sadhu. Yeah,
Great
he's a
sadhu.
great, he's a great saintly person. But here,
so Prajāpati
Dakṣa is
Dakṣa
wrongly
is-
thinking.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so Daksh is wrongly thinking that he's not a sadhu,
Yeah,
a sadhu.
yeah, that's
But
right.
Daksh is not a sadhu, right?
He is, in the sense, he is because he's doing his duties well. Also, Lord Vishnu has come to see him personally. He did his austerities, he sang the Hamsa Guhya prayers,
But he's a
so he
king, no? He
certainly,
doesn't come, no, under the sadhu
well,
designation,
well,
right?
here it said that anyone who is doing their duty properly in accordance with their duty, whoever is
Oh,
doing the duty as whatever is their ashram, is
okay.
certainly a sadhu in that way.
Okay,
In
okay,
that way,
got it.
not a renunciate. He's not a
Not
renunciate,
a
but he's doing
renunciate.
his duties well. Yeah.
Okay.
So in that way. Yeah. So now he's blaming Narad Muni because Narad had foiled his intentions. Desiring to train his sons to become grahasts, fully equipped with knowledge, Daksh had sent them to execute austerities by Narayana's sons. Narad Muni, however, taking advantage of their highly elevated position in austerity, instructed them to become Vaishnavas in the renounced order. This is the duty of Narad Muni and his followers. So we can see actually Daksh is also doing his duty. It's his duty to populate the earth. He's getting so many children so that he can populate the earth. Then Narad Muni is also doing his duty. Narad Muni is our
Mm,
spiritual master. So duty of spiritual master to give transcendental knowledge, bring everyone back home, back to Godhead. So they both are doing their duties actually. They must show everyone the path of renouncing this material world and returning home back to Godhead. Prajāpati Daksh, however, could not see the exaltedness of the duties Narad Muni performed in relation to his sons. Unable to appreciate Narad Muni's behavior, Daksh accused Narad of being a sadhu. So Daksh is not able to appreciate that Narad Muni is also doing his duty. The words Bhikshur Marga, the path of renounced order, are very significant in this regard. A sannyasi is called Tridandi Bhikshu because his duty is to beg alms from the homes of grihas and to give grihas special instructions. A sannyasi is allowed to beg from door to door, but a grihas cannot do so. Grihasthas may earn their living according to the 4 divisions of spiritual life. A Brahmana grihas may earn his livelihood by becoming a learned scholar and teaching people in general how to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here Prabhupada is mentioning that a sannyasi, what he does, he goes begging to the house of the grihast. But what is the goal behind it? Why does he go? It's not for his personal gain. It's to awaken Krishna consciousness in others. That is the real sannyasi. That's why he's going door to door. Like we read earlier, that Sukadev Goswami wouldn't even wait till the cow is milked properly, but he's going to awaken Krishna consciousness in everyone. Then here Prabhupada is saying the grahast can be in 4. There could be a Brahman grahast. So how is a Brahman grahast going to earn livelihood? By learning the Shastras and by teaching. And we're teaching people the Shastra and also how to worship the Supreme Lord, worshipping the deity and teaching how to worship. So that is how he may earn his livelihood. Therefore, it is said that only Brahmanas may engage in deity worship and they may accept as prasad whatever people offer the deity. So whatever he earns his livelihood, he maintains himself by whatever donations people are willing to give. Although a Brahmana may sometimes accept charity, it is not for his personal maintenance, but for the worship of the deity. Thus, a Brahmana does not stock anything for his future use. So the idea is the real Brahmana, he's worshipping the deity. So whatever he's collecting is for worshipping the deity. For his personal maintenance, whatever little bit he needs, he just takes that. He doesn't stock up too much. So then I think we can stop here because this purport goes on longer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, this
Yes.
purport might take longer, and then you want to finish this? This Kshatriya
We can
Grahastas. Stop here? Fine.
Yeah, we can stop
So
there.
thank you so much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jai.
ki jai. Thank you so much.